Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome, Steve.
How you doing, Jay?
All right. Jeff couldn't be with us tonight, but we do have a special guest interview.
Yes.
Our good friend Udi from the Living Today podcast.
Cool.
It's always good having him on. I'm sure we'll have a good conversation. How are you doing, Steve?
So far, so good. It's freezing cold.
Snowing over there?
What's that?
Snowing a lot over there?
Snowing a lot, yeah. And right now, it's about 29 degrees. I want to go to Del Taco to get something to eat, but I don't want to drive.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a bit further for, you can't really have it delivered, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll have to make something downstairs.
So. Yeah, I probably will make something too. Because I've ate out like the last couple of days. One of those being Del Taco.
Yeah. Epic Cali burritos, my favorite.
I had the queso.
Jay's.
Yeah. I tried. I didn't film it, but there was something called Fame grilled cheese. I saw it on.
Not from Del Taco.
Huh?
Is it from Del Taco?
No. It's a restaurant. It's actually a ghost kitchen out of Village Inn. And I saw it on DoorDash, so I tried it. It was actually pretty decent, but it's just grilled cheese, and it had like the one I got was actually a pizza grilled cheese, so I had like pizza sauce and pepperoni and stuff.
Wow.
And then they had like Cajun fries, which were decent. But the thing is, it said it comes with a side of tomato soup to dip it in, like a standard grilled cheese would have.
Yeah.
And then as you're picking your sides, it has the option to pick the tomato soup, and I'm like, why would they give you the option to pick it when it comes with it? I chose the fries because like it came with it, right?
Yeah.
It didn't come with it. I'm like, it says it didn't say select it. It says comes with a side of tomato soup, but it didn't. And so like I put up on with the support, and I'm like, it didn't come with it, and I got like a little refund back, but it seems kind of dumb. Like now I'm like thinking, does it come with it? Like,
right.
Next time I'm gonna order it without the fries and see what happens.
It's a new episode coming up.
Yeah. Anyway, it was decent though. There was like a mac and cheese version, which I really wanted to try, but somebody, or actually a couple people said it was like just Kraft mac and cheese. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
That's a waste of money.
Right.
But
you can make your own.
Anyway, the one I had was pretty good. So I might try it again. Anyway. I have no snow here because I'm in Arizona.
yeah, lucky.
But it's been getting a little colder. Nothing like it is over there. But
I shoveled this morning, so I'm a little
as you live out here in the summers, you get used to the heat, so it starts to get like in the 60s. You get actually pretty cold.
Yeah, you're wearing a winter jacket.
Yeah, well, I'm not, but some people. I mean, you see people wearing sweaters when it's like 70. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get used to the heat, and they say it thins your blood or whatever. I don't know. But anyway.
Okay.
How about we get to our interview?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
All right.
Wizards and witches, wherever you dwell, give us a hint by ringing the bell.
Winds in the east, mist coming in. Like something is brewing, about to begin.
This candle blessed us with a miracle.
Take it, Kronk. Feel the power.
Oh, I can feel it.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Is
There's no mystical energy field controls my destiny. It's all a lot of simple tricks and nonsense.
Well, I happen to be a wizard, a soothsayer, a prognosticator.
Some all-powerful genie. You probably can't even get us out of this cave.
Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader.
It's your old pal Skippy here, and is this recording? Hon, can you help me? Anyway, I just want to say I love you guys and keep up the good work.
All right, everybody. And now it's time for our interview with this guy down below.
Hello. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. So we have Udi here from the Leaving Today podcast, who you may have seen on some of these on our Concilium episodes or our ride-through videos.
Yep.
It's always good having you on here.
Always glad to be here. Always fun. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah. But even though we're friends and we have mutual friends, I don't know a lot about your background. So
okay.
I figured it's a good time to put you on an interview, put you on the spot.
Works for me. I can do that.
So I guess, this is a Disney podcast, obviously. So is yours.
Yep.
Where did you get your love for Disney? When did that start for you?
When did you discover the magic?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was born and raised in Southern California. Spent was like 10. We moved out of East Los Angeles when I was about 12 years old. So Disney was always there. My parents being immigrants to this country, they always wanted to give us as much as they could, and that included Disneyland. The other thing was we always had family coming in. Always had family from overseas, South America coming in. And it was one of the things like, hey, well, you're here. We're going to Disneyland. So, yes, I mean, my mom, I think 3 is when I first went into the park. I think it's what my mom's told me. So, but yeah, I mean, going into the park was just something we did every year, multiple times a year. And that's really where it all began. So it just became an integral part of our family,
Right.
It's really it. So, honestly, I can't remember. I don't think I have like that moment of like, this is why Disney's amazing. I don't think I really came into that realization till later on when I was a little bit more mature and actually figured it out.
Sure.
You always had that sensation as a little kid. Just, how much fun you're going to have when you go there. I mean, Tomorrowland was my thing. I wanted to go to Tomorrowland. Scared to death of Haunted Mansion. Couldn't go in there. But that's basically it. I mean, it was just so much of an integral part of growing up.
So I'm sure you've gone to the park and like not gone on a ride and people watched. What would you say was like the age that you first did that?
Probably about high school.
Because I think that's like the pivotal point where you actually realize like,
I don't need to go on a ride.
Yeah, like you're growing up, you appreciate the park. You're not that kid anymore,
Yeah, no, I agree. And for me, really, one of the things that happened was in that time period, we moved from Southern California to Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a big gap in time, probably about, I want to say almost 3 years, 2 to 3 years before I ever made it into the park. So that was pretty much right around, what I want to say, that was like 14, 15. And then about 17 was when I finally we finally made the trip back. And it was actually with the school band that we went.
Did you guys play there or was it just?
No. It was part of the whole thing. We were touring and we hit a few different places on the way down and then a couple down there. And that was always part of the, just the tour, like the highlight, like, and on Sunday we're going to Disneyland before we turn around and head back up kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But that's really when it was that came in came into my mind about being able to just kind of, you know, take more in, and like it's a little bit more mature understanding what Walt was trying to accomplish at that point, and how much of it he really did.
Great.
Yep.
What did you play in the band?
Trumpet.
Oh, nice. Do you still?
No, I don't
Yep,
play.
anything,
I haven't played in a long time. I was first and second chair. So yeah, good band. Yep.
What made you decide to play trumpet? Because my friend, he was also playing trumpet, but only to learn Star Wars. And that was it.
So, you know, it's funny. I don't know, because, well, part of it was I wanted to play a brass. My brother and my sister were both playing basically woodwind, and I was like, I'll play a brass. And I was like, I'm not going to play tuba. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do trombone, even though I wound up actually playing both of them eventually. But it was just, it had more fun, more flair. And then, funny enough, senior year, we actually, beginning of the year, the director would drop different sheet music, you know, and we'd get all the sheet music. And one time, we did get the theme for Empire, and I lost my ish per se. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna wind up playing this. Apparently, we didn't play it well enough in the first couple to go, so he scrapped it and we never played it. So, but yeah, I remember opening the folder and I said Empire. I'm like,
yeah.
Open people. I'm like, dude. So, but yeah, we wound up playing it that day one more time. I think a few people tried to like coax him in that, and he just says, "Nah." I guess he felt we weren't ready to play that. So,
yeah.
Well, yeah, it would have been fun. It would have been fun.
Yeah. So you are on a Disney podcast, like we said.
Yeah.
You guys been doing it for what, 7 years now? Is that what it is?
Yeah, coming in, starting in 16.
How did you meet your co-host Mark?
So Mark, okay, so it's a funny story about Mark and so we both worked together at a retail shop, and I was in charge of the bike area. I was a master mechanic. I ran the crew. It was about 5 to 6 guys, and we did a full service bike shop. In that same box store, there was a full ski department. Mark wound up coming in because he was a huge snowboard guy. Loved snowboarding. So on the opposite side of literally on the opposite side of the building was that department. He wound up working there, worked a long time. Most new people that I work with, I will say I'm not that friendly and cordial to them. I'll say hello, but you know, as far as like initiating conversation, I'm not that guy. So I didn't talk for a long time. I don't know how long he knows because he brings it up often. Yeah, and then so what happened was that the guy who was in charge of that department I had known for a while, so I was good friends with him. So I would stop because I literally had to walk by it to go out to the back, and I would stop and talk to him, and I would, you know, just being me, cracking jokes, blah 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 blah. So finally, something came around. We needed help, and they kind of recommended him, and I kind of went like, all right, he seems like a good enough guy. I mean, I'd been, you know, looking at him, so he finally wound up kind of coming over, and then I started training him, and you can ask him how that training went. I have a tendency to train at a very, very, very high level. I push people a lot. I want them to be as good as they can be, and I'm not very nice about it. But so with him, I pushed him really, really, really hard to get better. And he wound up being a really good mechanic. But that's basically what happened. He started working with me off and on. And then at the time, I was doing another podcast and we're kind of doing a YouTube show too. It was called Bad or Bad. And I was with another coworker of mine. His screen name is Leon, so I'll refer to him as such. That's not his actual name. So I was doing with him, and we were doing this with another coworker, and that's what we did. We reviewed movies. We did podcasts. I mean, very first podcast we did, We did handheld microphone, cabled into a small recorder. And we did this sitting in a living room, like literally on a couch. So we did that, and so that's how it began. So he knew that I was doing that. And then one day, and then he started hearing through my conversation with people that I like Disneyland, grew up going and all that. So eventually, I don't know how long it took him to get up the nerve, but he finally asked me, hey, I kind of want to start a podcast. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, and you need help or what? He's like, no, actually, I want you to co-host with me. I'm like, okay, what is it about? He said, Disneyland. I'm like,
we just become best friends.
Yup. Yeah. No. And, you know, and that's really how it all started. And I kind of it's very interesting because I can pinpoint that decision that I made that day. And I didn't realize, like a lot of time in your life, when you make a decision, like, sure, you don't recognize how much of an impact that decision may have in the rest of your life. And holy crap, has my life changed from then till now. But a lot of it is a result of that decision. So it's crazy. People I've met, places I've gone, even to the field that I'm in right now. All are related to me saying yes to that podcast.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah. It's crazy. So I mean, I can sit here and just go, well, you know, then this happened. No, but yeah, I mean, I can't. It's kind of crazy to me when I really stop and think about what if I would have said no.
Yeah.
So I constantly tell people all the time, and in myself, I'm like, those moments in time you have that little twinge of fear, but in your head you're like, I need to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go do it. You may fail, fall flat on your face, but man, you never know what could come out of it.
Well, let's like with me with Jason. When Jason came to ask me, and I was like, I don't know if I want to be in front of the camera and everything.
Right.
Yeah. Well, not even just that, but you started as a subscriber to my other channel. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how we met you too, through your podcast and our mutual friend Christy, who Steve knows now too. So
yeah.
It's a small world.
No doubt. Like I said. So like I said, Christy, one of my best friends in the world. Never would have met her. Never would have met you. Never would have met you. You know, I never would have been in Arizona. Well, I would have been again to Arizona, but not in that area.
Yeah.
So many things I can think of that are all just point right back to that moment. So yeah.
So you mentioned your job too. So I mean, you do kind of construction. I don't know exactly everything that you do, but
okay. So if you want, I'll tell you guys. I mean, I work in HVAC. Okay, so a lot of people when you say HVAC, they kind of go, "Oh, so you're tech." No, I hate tech. I did tech work for a decade. I don't want to do tech work again. I do hands
in the field,
boots on, climbing buildings, into rafters, ladders, cutting metal, blowing, welding, all that kind of stuff, and that's what I do.
That's the fun stuff.
It's all the fun stuff. I love all that. I love all of that. I get to operate heavy equipment. I mean, great alls. I'm on boom lists. I'm all 3, 4, 5 stories up. All these kind of things that I don't think I would have done before. I all do now. A few weeks ago, I was in San Jose, walking along the top scaffolding, putting in stuff on the very top of the wall of an 8-story building. Things like that a lot of people, they don't know how you do it. I've had plenty of comments on my picture, like, how do you do this? It's like, I don't know, you get used to it. I mean, it's fun. I have a good time. Luckily, the guys that I'm around, again, this is the whole thing, the guys that I'm around are like, they're my brothers. I mean, we really are family. I mean, we fight and bicker like family. We we talk so much trash. I mean, last week we had a pretty rough week, and all we wound up doing that evening, because we're around each other all the time. We stay in the same trailer. So all we did was we made dinner. I bought some bourbon, and we drank and just talked trash for about 3 hours, laughing, and that's the camaraderie. So that's another part of the job that cool. I really like. Yeah, I mean, it's also the sense of getting it done. We have that ability to look at a big problem and go like, how in the hell are we going to accomplish this?
Right.
And figure it out.
Are any of those guys Disney fans as well, or
no? None of them.
No. I mean, you said you got that job because you said yes to the podcast. So
yes. So the way I got that was through another podcaster that you would know, Mr. Joe.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Pittman. So at the time, Joey had started his podcast, right? And he'd been pretty much right. I don't know if it was right around the same time as us or right in that same area. Funny enough, we gave, what did we do? We gave like a sticker giveaway, something really mundane, nothing big. And so he won. He won one.
Oh, okay.
And then it turned out to be like, hey, I think I'm probably really close to you guys. And then we're like, okay, where do you live? And he was like, I live in Citrus Heights. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's right. At the time, I lived in Citrus Heights. I'm like, joking, right? And then he's like, I'm over here right behind the mall. I'm like, dude, you're 10 minutes away from me. So that's what happened. So he wound up coming over. Something happened with Jess couldn't be there. I couldn't remember. And then he wound up jumping in on our episode. I mean, because one thing that our podcast we like doing is kind of what you guys do. It's like, hey, you want to hop on there? Let's go.
Yeah.
But we also do that with our listeners. We have listeners come and hang out. We've got people. We've got a listener. His name is Marcus, and he lives about an hour away. And he's like, hey, when are you guys recording? We'll tell him. He's like, can I come hang out? I'm like, come on down.
Yeah, we would love to have our listeners on too.
Oh, I know.
Maybe not the interview, but the Castillion ones and our write-throughs for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's such a cool thing to have that, and anybody who listens to our show knows. It's like, if you know us, you DM us, and you're talking to us actively, you want to be on for a little while, throw the word down. So that's how that happened, So he came, we became acquaintances. We started. I'm trying to remember what we did. We recorded a few more times or something, but he wound up eventually hopping on the Bad for a little bit before he basically killed. That show pretty much died. But then what happened was I was working at a job, a place I really liked. It's a small shop. I was doing high-end bike work. Working on average $2,500 bikes and up. And it's really good stuff. I wound up being asked by a friend of Mark, his old neighbor, who's director. And he said, hey, can you come? I'm shooting my first film, and I want you to come help. I'm like, well, yeah, let me see if I can do that. I'd love to go do that. And so I basically initially told him I couldn't, because I didn't want to interfere with my work, And because I talked to the owner, he's like, well, I don't know. And I kind of went, and I was like, well, and I go, here, my priority is here. Obviously, I'm not going to it's for 2.5 weeks, blah, blah, blah. And in that time, before I can say no officially, he says, go ahead and do it. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yes, go ahead and do it. I'm like, okay. Originally, I was supposed to be interviewing for a key grip job for that movie. I wound up being interviewed for the location manager job and wound up getting that job. So I wound up being the location manager for that movie. We shot in Auburn, in Stockton, in Roseville, in Sac. And so I wound up working in that movie. And when I came back, this is going to circle. I'll tie it all together right now. When I came back, when I was coming back to, the movie, the run was over. I was done, project over. I was coming back. I was informed I didn't have a job anymore.
Wow.
Like, oh, super. Cool. So I don't have a job anymore. I thought it was all cool, apparently not. So I'm like, what am I going to do now? There's about a month of that. And then I'm like, I need to work. Like I had a few grand saved up and I didn't want to burn through it all. And I'm like, oh man, I need to do something. And that's when I said, hey, because I knew what Joey was doing. Hey, Joe, your company looking to hire? And he goes, hold on, let me check. Next day, and it was a couple of days later, I'm like, hey, any word? He's like, yeah, hold on. I asked, but no one responded. Let me check again. And he goes, hey, yeah, they just actually let a guy go, and we need somebody. And then wound up going over there, took the interview, didn't know I was going to wind up working that day, and I wound up working that day. Yeah, interviewed, and then the project manager's like, well, let's go to the site right now. And I'm like, okay, cool. I drive over. He's like, well, do you got any tools? No. Well, how are you going to work? I'm like, I didn't know I was hired. Yeah. I'm like, okay, you got
it. Take it out of my bag.
Yeah, I'm like, look at the back of my truck. There's nothing back there. I didn't bring anything. I was literally in like a decent shirt, decent slacks, and nice shoes. I'm like, I came for an interview, not to work. Like work attire versus interview attire, completely different. So, and that was it. I started working there. The funny part about that is within 6 months of that job, I was running that job. And then here we are. I mean, 3 companies later, and now I'm traveling. And yep, that's it. There's a lot more to it, but that's the Reader's Digest version of it.
Yeah. Do you travel far, or is it still like just around the?
No, right now the projects that are in front of me. One is 2 hours away from where I live, and another one is 3 hours away from where I live. So. The one that is 2 hours away, we're in the startup phase. We will be done with that this week, and once that is done, we're out. We're done. That one's 100%.
I mean, but do you leave the state, or is it all just in?
All in the state. All in the state. The company's a relatively small company, Northern California based. So I haven't heard, but we may get something on the other side of Tahoe. That would be out of state, but yeah. I mean,
like Carson City and
out there. I haven't heard. I mean, we've got one in Chico coming up. We've got another one in Hercules coming up. San Jose is coming up. The one in Ukiah that I'm at. So we've got a lot of projects getting ready to pop off up here. So mostly we're doing. Our company basically has been bidding and getting. What is it? Low-income apartments.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So far, the 2 projects that were done are all low-income.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
That's that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so you got the job and all that, and but did you go to school for this kind of thing, or like how you just started doing it one day and? I think I'll. My is going out. I think I'll take a look at it and.
Well, so no, but what it what it was is that I have a basic mechanical skill set, right? Being a bicycle mechanic, you develop a basic mechanical skill set, how to use a basic set of tools. Yeah. And then the biggest translator that is for both is logic and basic logic base. So. I always say thread your logic or use string logic, right? Like you have a problem or you have a goal, and then you know what you're trying to, you have a mechanism. It's supposed to work like this. Okay, how do I get there to make it work like that?
Right.
And so that's basically how I learned everything.
That's programming right there.
Yeah, same idea, but I'm doing it. Program's doing it, typing away, and I'm sitting there hammering.
Yeah. I'd rather do it Udi's way than typing.
No. I'm sitting in the desk. Oh my God, kill me now.
Yeah.
Kill me now.
I don't like sitting at a desk either, but here we are.
You got to do what you got to do. I mean, I got lucky, and then in that in that time, like I said, I've learned how to operate heavy machinery, and I already knew how to drive forklifts from before. And so yeah, that translated to big great alls, which a great all is a big wheeled, oversized forklift is what a great all is. And then a boom lift. Obviously, the boom lifts are the ones that have a basket on the end to go up.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I used to.
And scissor lifts.
Yeah, I used to drive forklift too at Emory Worldwide.
Oh yeah,
like after high school.
Man, this is fun.
There's a scissor lift in the diorama. when you ride the train, you can actually see the scissor lift on the other side.
Really?
Yeah. So when you're in Arizona, the Grand Canyon, there's a section there where if you look at the back, it kind of dips down. The scenery dips down, and when it dips down, you can see the blue scissor lift in the back.
Okay.
Every time I go on that, I look for it.
You're funny. You're funny.
We got to do another video now just to point that out.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do that Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What are you laughing at? I didn't say nothing yet.
He's laughing at my face. That's not nice.
No.
All right, so you talked about your work and all that, right, and growing up. You try to get down to Disney often, but it doesn't always work out.
No, sadly. Well, yeah.
Here we go. Here it is.
No. I mean.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you want to go there, we can. The sales are about to open up again for maybe a year.
All that.
Which I'm not going to have money for.
No, I got that. Mark is like, "Hey, you interested?" I'm like, "Not yet."
I'm not going to talk about it. But I was just kind of, curious, like, how often do you try to get down there?
Well, when we had the APs rolling it back before the lockdowns and all that stupidity, I was going every quarter, multiple day trips every quarter.
That sounds about what we were doing too.
Yeah, and I mean, really, in my mind, that was right before all that. The park was humming along really, really well. I felt like it was. I mean, obviously, there's been a little bit of a downturn before lockdowns. But I mean, talking about after lockdowns, it's a joke. But no, that we were going every quarter, boom, boom. I mean, the guys knew on the cruise, like, hey, next Thursday, Friday, I'm out. Where are you going? And I'd just give them a look. Okay. So they knew where I was going. And that's what it'd be. I'd go with Mark. I'd go with pretty much anybody who would want to come along for the ride.
That's the same story like I hear from everybody. It's like everything was fine before all this, and we don't know why it hasn't gone back to that way. But
I do. I mean, I don't know why, but I have my feelings, obviously. Yeah.
Anyway, that's not what this is about. But I just wanted to see if it was a similar story.
Yeah. I think like any of us being a Disney a fan of the park, that was the normal. Now I've been back. I went last year. It's been a year. It's been over a year and a half now, I think, since last time I went. It's been a while. Yeah.
So when you go, what is the main thing what is the one thing that you have to go on or have to see?
I was literally getting right to that point.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Jay and I always do that.
Yeah.
We always do.
Hey, we have the same question on our show whenever we have new people. I break it down to a couple. I have what I call my tradition, right? What you're gonna ride and kind of in what order. And the first ride that I always try to go to is Indy. Go in, go to the left, hit Indy.
Yeah.
Then it would be Mansion, or Pirates, and then Mansion. And that, I mean, you go down that left side, boom, boom, boom. Then at that point, it was before Rise, it was Thunder, then all the way around the space.
Yeah.
That hasn't really changed that much. The only thing that has now been adopted into it is Rise.
Is Rise, yeah.
So literally now, that is what it is now. So it's any one of those. I call them essential. If I have to pick them apart, it's really Haunted, and now it's going to be down for like a year or 6 months or whatever it's going to be.
Yep.
Which is fine. I get it. It's not
except for the fact that they might be putting the lightning lane on Pirates because of that. So that might make that line a little longer.
That's horrible.
Add on to another attraction that does not need lightning.
Yeah.
It's a people eater, designed accordingly. It's designed to be a people eater, and it doesn't need it. But anyway, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
Stupid idea.
Does Smugglers not fit in there?
No, it's fun, but no. It's a simulator, and you're like, okay. You know, it isn't as, even though it's trying to be, it is really immersive. COVID screwed that up. Because one of the cool parts about that was when you're in line, and when the group of people, you know, when you went into that final staging area, and you're all kind of waiting to kind of get in, there's always this, with having that group of people, you felt that energy. With COVID, they got rid of that. Now they shuttle you straight through them.
Yeah.
And that
you don't even have time to like sit down and take a photo or anything.
Hardly any.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've got
to know the people that you're going in with.
Yeah.
A little bit, you know.
Totally get to hang out and if it, you know, take a picture and all that. And just, you know, the excitement of like, oh, I'm going to be the pilot, or oh, I'm going to be the, you know, engineer, I'm going to be the, you know, the gunner, and all of that is kind of like, oh, card. Oh, like there's no time to kind of, I mean, until you get into that day, but then you missed all that. So that was maybe kind of cool, but I mean, and it's still the Falcon, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they also, you know, we're supposed to have different missions or whatever.
I don't know why they don't have that get up yet. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just wish you could still go up to the Falcon and touch it and stuff, you know, but they put that barricade there.
Yeah, that barricade's there and that, no, I mean, I get why they put that there and you get as close as you can, but yeah. I mean, I already have so many ideas on how they can make Smugglers really, really good, but they'll never do it. Well, I should qualify that. They could do it if certain people weren't in positions they're in right now.
Yes.
That's for everything out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll leave it right there, because if not, I will stand up on the soapbox and start ranting.
Yeah. So out of all of those, I mean, what is your favorite, I guess?
Haunted really has become one of those ones that thinking about when it was,
is it the theming of it?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that's definitely part of it. I think what it is, when you think about it, when it was done, and what kind of no other place, and maybe this comes from my childhood, right? No other place really scared me like that place did. Like, I was scared going in. And it was a very emotional event to go into that attraction. Yeah. So I think that's part of it now, is understanding how much of the ambiance and how when you go in, you're completely into the immersion of it, and it's so cool, and it's in the dark, and when you get the story and when you get like the subtext of, I mean, you think about the bride, and then a lot of people, you know, when you're coming through and you're past the Hatbox Ghost, you're coming back around, and you're coming to the finale of the ride, and you know, when the Doom buggy flips around and you start falling backwards, I'm like, that's the bride getting pushed out a window. I mean,
yeah,
Like, do you, and all those kind of things, like there's so much subtext in Disney before the more modern stuff. It's crazy if you don't catch it. Like Pirates. That's why Pirates is so cool. If you think about Pirates, you're going into a dream. You're going into a dream. I mean, you think like you start off in this really low, slow, calm, serene scene, right? And you have the guy playing on the banjo quite softly as you're going through. And then you notice it gets darker and darker and darker. It's almost like your eyes are starting to close. You become more focused into the tunnel, and then it gets darker and darker, and then all you have is a Jolly Roger, and he's telling you the story, and then you're like drifting off. And then you drop into your first layer of dream, and you kind of sink in, and then you drop in again, and then you're fully asleep, and then now you're completely in the dream.
I never even thought of it that way.
I mean, I've always heard the, start off dead and become alive thing, but I've never heard it as a dream. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things like you because I mean you go into the world and there you are, and then you, as you're coming up, you're waking up again, and you're out, and then the first thing you hit when you come out, sunrise. If it's daytime, you hit the light hits you, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm back. So
that's kind of a cool way of looking at it too.
Yeah. I mean, we were just, Jason and I were just talking about on our last ride through with Jeff about the story that the attraction has, and how I never really paid attention to that stuff. I'm always looking at the lights or the way the special effects and the animatronics and things like that. I never really paid attention to the story. So when you mention Pirates like that and you start thinking about it, I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, it is kind of...
I would say our last two ride-throughs were pretty intense. We had the Small World one where we do the opposite. We're all talking, and I made this joke, and then Jeff's like, agreed with me, but I was all like, you start off, everybody segregated and all that, you come together in heaven. You're all dead in heaven in the golden white and all that. But yeah, we had that, and then we had this talk that he was talking about where in my mind a ride, there's a difference between a ride and an attraction, where a ride is just like a thrill ride. There's no story. Maybe there's theming, but there's no story. An attraction has some kind of story to it. And that's just the way I always looked at it. Same thing as amusement parks and theme parks, like they have rides or attractions or, mixture of both, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we were getting pretty deep, I guess, on the conversation, but you should go back and watch those. But it's just interesting the way we all kind of have like similar thoughts on these things.
Well, and this, again, this is why I always point back to the brilliance of Walt Disney. Because you look at that one attraction, like Pirates, or now, I mean, with Small World, I hadn't thought of it that way. But look at what you can pull from it, depending on your own personal history and life experience,
Yeah.
And so a lot of that, without going too far into it, that's one of the problems that I feel with Disney right now, is that attention to nuance and detail that is specifically broad, if I can put it that way, where it can appeal to a mass amount of people in very specific ways. And when you even if you go into Rise, I mean, you go into Rise and it is a technological wonder and a story, but it's a very specific story. There's no real room for interpretation. You get in, you're attacked, you're taken, then you get escaped. Pretty regimented story. When you go into Pirates, like I said, or A Small World, you go into different things. They're different. Even in the classic dark rides, you can still pull, because most people connect with classic Disney in different ways. Again, depending on how they were raised with them, or how their view of them. So even when you go into a classic like Pan, Dumbo, any of those, you can pull your own personal thing out of it. And that's the real thing of the new stuff that we're missing. So as much as I love Rise, I can also look at it and kind of go like, hey, story-wise and everything else, like it's not super intricate or anything. It's pretty basic.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, it's like you said, there's not much you can interpret it differently. It's exactly what it seems to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The only thing that would make it better if they made original trilogy characters, but I'll stop.
Yeah,
everything's
that's a whole other topic.
Everything's better in OT. I think I should make that as a T-shirt.
I just wish, the whole as a land, Galaxy's Edge, they would have the characters walking around and the droids and stop testing things. Just put them out there.
Just go. I mean, I think there are many, many, many problems with Disneyland right now, and Disney. So kind of difficult when we can see what we grew up with and what 5-6 years ago, what we had. And it's crazy to see how much of that has changed in this really small amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the whole, as a Disneyland, you barely have characters walking around. Like sometimes there's certain spots here and there or whatever.
Hands and everything.
But there used to be just characters walking around everywhere. And
Yep. You'd have Mickey and Minnie rolling around, Goofy. Think about it. Think about how many times you're like dodging Goofy and stuff like that,
Yeah.
Happen all the time.
Even right before COVID, Goofy's always around, hanging around Main Street and all that. So
yep. And this is where the differences lie. I mean, one of the many things, but that, like I said, it's one of those attention to detail things that always held Disney above other theme park and amusement parks. It was stuff like that.
Yeah. Again, this is a whole other topic, but how they seem not so concerned with Universal's new parks, and I think they should be, because they're not holding up to their standard, and now Universal's like blowing them away.
Yeah. Well, I think, and I've been saying it for a while. I think we are at a point where Disney is going to begin to correct. Some people would argue that there's nothing to correct. I'd say they're in the minority, or they don't know, or they flat out just don't know the differences between, then and now. But yeah, there are many things that they need to correct, and I think they're going to be pushed to correct them.
Yeah, I mean we've heard the words from Iger himself about what they did wrong.
Yeah,
I still haven't seen much changes, but I think he realizes they can't do what they used to.
Well, yeah, maybe not. I don't know, because it leads down a hole that I don't know if you guys want to go down. But I think Iger, his time is done, and he's the only one who doesn't realize it. Yeah. I think most people, even people who are supporting him, I think they all know his time is done. I think he needs to go ahead and exit on out, and it's not Disneyland. It's Disneyland, not Igerland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that is a big problem. I think a lot of the people who are there now do not connect with the park, with Walt, with the IP's core and the core fandom. I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's evident what they do.
I hope whether Peltz gets in there or not, that at least they start listening to what he's suggested. And it actually kind of surprised me, because that whole Perlmutter, him not actually wanting the seat on the board, I was kind of surprised on that.
Yeah, well,
but I mean, it makes more of a sense than that. Let Peltz get in there and have him, because I thought that Perlmutter guy had some other thing going on. But if he doesn't want a seat on the board himself, then
Well, no, and so that's where it gets interesting, because I think that fight is going to be on, and it is on.
Yeah.
But I think I have a feeling they're going to win. It's kind of crazy, but I think they're going to get something out of this.
Yeah.
And whatever they can get out of it, it's going to be a win. I mean, it's got to be. Yeah, because I'm looking at the moves that are being made, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? You know, this is not. You're not helping. You're not helping yourselves at all. Like, I feel like, I honestly feel like there's something big's coming, like something we're not going to catch. We're not going to see.
You're probably right.
Yeah, and I feel like we're going to all get blindsided and be like, whoa, that just happened.
The people mover's coming back.
Seriously. They need to do something.
No, you want to know? You want to know what popped in my head a little while ago? And I'll just say this. I'll say one man's name, Elon Musk, and I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna.
He should be in charge of Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
or Disney.
That's what I was saying. If there's one guy who can invest money in,
exactly, he could literally invest enough money to completely take over and make it not even a choice. But anyway, can you think about it? A SpaceX whole thing in Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Real world things. And I've always said it, like, Tomorrowland needs the update, right? Why aren't we talking about going to Mars? Why aren't we talking about, new technology? Why aren't we talking about this stuff? All this stuff. What do you got in Tomorrowland? Well, we're gonna add more stories to Star Tours. Cool stories, bro.
It's because they don't want to
spend the BBC lounge.
Yeah.
There you go.
They don't want to spend money.
Well,
but they realize, like, you don't have to make the land look futuristic. You can stay with the retro, but you can update the buildings or the attractions inside, or with the technology. And
yep,
yeah,
100%. Like it. I don't know, man. The other part of it is not. Their focus on overseas parks versus our domestic parks is another thing that's really kind of like, okay.
Well, and I think that's more partially because there's other people involved. Hury on the land companies, like, we have the money, we're going to do this, and no, don't touch our Splash Mountain, and
Well, yeah, no, and I don't want to. There's more to it, but that's a big part of it too.
Yeah,
the rationale behind why they say don't touch it is the main thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's not only that, but I mean, you think of all the. I made the comment on my show maybe a couple episodes ago. It's like, where are all the cool things other than when we got Rise? We got Runaway, right? And then after that, we're like, what's next? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And they're talking about, we're going to do this, Zootopia, blah, 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 all this stuff overseas. I'm like, they're going to create a new Frozen Land. Sweet. Where? Oh, yeah. Figures. Not in America, not in the United States. I'm like, yeah. So it's things like that. That's why I like Disney Forward. Like, that's the one thing that I'm like, God, please make this happen.
Yeah.
I know.
I really hope that happens.
Yeah.
I really, really hope that happens.
All right. Well, I'm just becoming a separate topic here.
I know, that's what I'm trying to like. Oh man!
But if that Disneyland 4 comes through, Heyman has to find a new way to get in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully there'll be underground parking in that situation.
I'm gonna
Eastern Gateway or whatever. But anyway, let's get back to something personal about you, but still related to Disney. This is getting into our games, so I know you guys play some games on yours too, but one that we like to call a magic hearing. Sorry, because it's like a take on Imagineering, magic hearing.
Okay, Imagineering. Okay.
Like, what's like a sound or music or anything audio related that
from the parks or movies.
Like, what's like something that just sticks in your head, or like your favorite, or
the one There are a few sounds, and it depends on, well, coming into the park. Day one of trip, right? The things that I'm always listening for. It's going to be 3 different sounds. One's going to be the sound of the monorail coming by, and their horn. Then the sound of the train, and the whistle there, and the bell. When I hear those things, it's like, yeah, okay, here we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are the sounds that I really, and then going in, like I was talking about pirates. When you get into the boat, and you have that sound of you launching, and you kind of like, you know, that sound drop in, and then you have that quiet like moment of peace, hearing the water trickle. That's another thing. And then hearing the bustle of the Blue Bayou, and then there's
Blue Bayou,
yeah. And then those are
that's
the other
a good one. Yeah.
Then there's so many, honestly. Another good one is, you know, going down the trail, hearing, you know, Thunder Mountain just flying by. Yeah, hearing the people as they go, you know, flying by that corner. Gosh. Oh, and then going to DCA. I mean, in Credit Coaster, the countdown.
Yeah.
You know?
3, 2, 1.
Go, boom, and then hearing everybody scream their heads off.
Yeah.
There's actually one of the cool things I like when they change it to a Credit Coaster. They have the running by with the water.
Yeah.
Yep. Like he's running right there. Yeah. Like, they know that. I mean, honestly, Credit Coaster, they did really well. I mean,
well, and a cookie num-nums at the end.
Well, you cookie those are amazingly good. Yeah, but you got to ride that one at night. Yeah. So, yeah, during the daytime it loses its luster, but at night it is.
I know during the day when you go through those tubes, it just looks like a plastic doll.
Yeah.
They used to, with all the lights and stuff.
Yeah, they used to stop running it when World of Color was going, but now they keep it going.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. Well, they were for a while. I don't know if they still are. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Huh.
All right. Well, those are good answers. All of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So another game that we call BrewSky Rectify.
Greetings, program.
This is all his design. He wanted a new piece on the board to change the game. Rectify. The only way to win is not to play. Enjoy the drink.
Okay.
Which is where our drinks come in for the brew.
Okay.
Yeah. my coffee.
Yeah. Where's your cup?
I know. I got to get it on the dishwasher. It's still in the dishwasher from the last time we did.
But yeah, no, we encourage people to drink along with us if we kind of make a game out of it.
Okay.
But you know, it's BrewSky for like blue sky. So you guys have your game where you pick 3 rides. You got to keep one and change one and whatever. Yep. So we do our similar thing.
Okay, cool.
Where we have a wheel.
Okay.
So pretty much we pick a park and then we go to a park and we pick a ride or a restaurant.
Okay.
And you just got to figure out how to make it better.
Okay.
So you will go first and then we'll spin for you.
Okay.
California Adventure.
Okay.
Steve always gets California Adventure.
I say change the whole thing.
I know. I think he's got like Disneyland once or something. And you got Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc.
Do you have to improve it?
Yeah, I mean, however you feel fit.
Yeah.
Can you just get rid of it?
Yeah, see, that's
if you have a better idea for it.
I don't really have a better idea for it. It's actually kind of kitschy and I like it. I never
heard what it used to be for sure.
Huh?
Compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, what was it before? I don't even remember.
There's that.
Superstar Limo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
It's funny how just a simple retheming changes everything. But
yeah, yeah, no, I other than getting rid of it, I can't think of an improvement. Make it go faster.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it's a kid ride, 100%. Make it dark and scary.
I think. I mean, I think we said this before, but that whole section just needs to be
redone.
Well, no, I made the comment they need to trash it and continue on to make Avengers Campus bigger. So
that or something else in that area. But yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Like you could put the why can't I think of the theater?
The
Avatar.
No, the theater. Is it Hyperion?
Oh yeah, Hyperion. Yeah.
I mean, you could make that. You could keep that themed. I mean, with Avengers theming on the outside and keep going. With it. Yeah. That needs to go. You could put make it you can make it an Avengers theme ride. That's a tough one. I'll tell you what, if that came up in the randomizer, that'd be the one I'd blow up. In fact, it has come up on our game, and I had blown it up. I'm like, God. Yeah. That's why the first thing
smash ride.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be better.
All right. We all know what Steve's going to get here.
Yeah.
Right, start picking your DCA ride.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No. See. This is yours, Jason.
No, this is yours.
It's rigged.
Yeah. What is it?
Pentice.
Oh, wow. I've never been there.
You haven't done a lot in California because you hate it.
Yeah, I the only place I love in California, which I can actually say I love, is Cars Land. That's really the only Marvel. I'm not even a big fan of that land because there's not really much there.
Oh, I mean, Mission Breakout is the apex over there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, even that Spider-Man ride is like. Yeah, I went through there once with my brother and just to see what it was like. And first it was just like really small, and it was just way too many people in that little area. And I see Pim's Test Kitchen, and it's like you can't even really go in it because there's just so many people hanging outside of it. So
there's like nowhere to sit.
There's nowhere to sit. Yeah. So that's why my brother and I, when we went through there, we were like, let's get out of here. It's just way too many people. It's way too crowded. And then especially when they had up on top of the building, the
Spider-Man.
The Quinjet. No, the Quinjet.
Oh, yeah.
They had the characters up there. So what do people do? They stand there and look up and watch. And now we can't get through to the other side.
Yeah, and they keep pushing you. Keep walking. And you're like, I'm watching the show here. Yeah, but keep, it's like weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
all.
I really don't know what to do for Pim's Kitchen other than maybe more seating.
More seating, yeah.
I don't know because, like I said,
I need more food options too. It's just weird.
I've never been there, but that's been the criticism that I've got. The execution isn't that good, and the offerings are kind of limited.
Oh,
so
really?
It's really good, but a lot of it's kind of like meh.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot who it was that had the little drinks,
the potion bottles or whatever. The
little ones. Yeah, and I think that was the only good thing that they were talking about was that because you get to keep the little thing. I think
it's all expensive too.
Yeah,
it's all expensive.
All right, we'll accept that answer.
Sorry.
My turn.
All right, Jay.
All right, here we go.
Disney. You're gonna get Disneyland.
No,
no.
We're all California adventures today.
3 for 3.
He's gonna get the corn dog cafe.
I got monsters. We cannot do the same one.
No, you can't do that again. Yeah, respin.
As long as I don't get corn dog castle.
Yeah.
Golden Zephyr.
Oh, there you go.
So
faster.
Go
this
faster.
for me is like the swings. Like, why are they there?
Yeah.
It's like the classic carnival attractions that were still left over from the first version that they don't need to be there.
No. I agree.
So what would you put there instead then? It's not a very big footprint. So.
It's not. Man, you could put a slide there; would be better. Honestly, like I would probably build up something that you could walk up to, like some kind of higher tower, like an overview.
You mean like a sky cabin?
Well, I mean, no, but like not just something that goes up on its own, but like something like a tree, like the essentially like the Adventureland treehouse, but like better. But it doesn't have to be a tree, but like something that you can climb up to and do things up higher on, you know.
Trying to think if they could do anything with wreathing to San Francisco within that area.
Well, it's outside the area technically, but
I know, but I mean, that's
but it's right next to that. What's that little kids thing that goes up and down?
Yeah, that shouldn't be there either.
That's right next to that.
Jumping jellyfish, right?
Yeah, whatever
It's called.
Yeah. It's across from your corn dog cafe or corn dog castle.
Corn dog castle.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Goofy Sky School's right there too.
Yeah.
They have a little tower out front. That little tower is kind of the same thing that's by Soarin'.
Mm-hmm.
You could do something.
What they could do for that area is remove the Golden Zephyr, put a post there, and it's part of this new skyline that goes from Goofy Sky School all the way across.
Across to what?
To the other part of the park.
Oh, okay. You do that.
It's just a post that you just replaced the Golden Zephyr with a post.
More fun.
You could also just put like a regular rocket rides kind of, not rocket rides.
Yeah, that would be better.
Yeah, it's a spinner. Yeah.
Because that would be cool if you have it kind of like maybe sticking out over the water a little bit.
Yeah, which it kind of does when the Zephyrs kind of lean out.
Yeah.
So as long as it doesn't get in the way of the show.
There you go. A spinner. All right. We usually do this twice, so Udi.
All right.
Udi gets Disneyland. There we go. That's a good mix.
Cool.
You get
the Disneyland Railroad.
The railroad. Okay. So the only improvement that could be made to that is what they already did. Made it longer. Well, wait, they kind
of shortened it, actually.
They shortened it, but they put that turn.
They put a left turn in there.
They put the left turn in. So really, the only thing you could do is make it longer. I've always been like, make it longer. I'm not sure how you really could do that, but more time on the train is better. And the only other thing was there are a couple of spots along the track that are kind of dead. Try to do something to improve those. Kind of like in between Toontown and coming in Tomorrowland, and then that last spin coming around. It's kind of dead in through there until you get to the diorama and things like that. Maybe liven that up. Maybe add some things in there. Yeah. Would be kind of cool.
I was telling Jason in that part, they should, because you're actually supposedly going into the future, into Tomorrowland, is they should have like a tunnel or whatever and make it like special effects, and then you come out and you're in Tomorrowland.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. Like you're going through a time warp.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah. But then you got to go out, and then, well, I guess the dioramas in that place would kind of take you back into current times.
Yeah.
Technically the past, and then you come back out. But
yeah.
You could totally do a whole like what was that movie? Time traveler movie, but I can't think of the name of it now, but that kind of C.S. Lewis was his
time machine?
Yeah, time machine. Do a time machine type thing. Yeah.
That time travel one? The time machine?
Yeah. Time machine one.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Back to the Future, yeah.
Make it the DeLorean. Yeah, that'd be the only thing I could think of. It's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's way better than Walt Disney World.
There's nothing to look at in that one.
I don't know about that one.
That was our first ride through. There was
that was
nothing.
our first ride through, and we sat there and we were like, "What is this?"
There's so much space over there. There's nothing to look at.
It's just plants. That's all you see. Plants and trees. There's no. The only section that you see of an attraction is Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah,
Really?
and that's a
I
cool,
remember right.
that's a cool spot, but
yeah,
it's about all you get.
Well, and then you get a little bit of Tron, and
Yeah, like.
but then you go through a tunnel, so then you don't see it anymore.
Anyway. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, since you're on the spot, let's keep that going.
Come on, Disneyland.
DCA. There it is.
No,
No.
he got Disneyland.
Okay, good.
It was like the second time.
Yeah, finally.
And you get Jolly Holiday.
Well, that's no fun.
Sorry, I didn't make up the wheel.
I mean, I like their food.
Well,
but I like the seating. The seating's great there.
Yeah.
There's gotta be something. Desserts, maybe, I don't know.
No, they have really good desserts too. They got cookies. They got everything there that you'd want. Well, they had sandwiches. Something to make it better.
It's all free. Just kidding.
Yeah. Maybe the line, fix the line, because lots of times you're outside of the building, all the way near the entrance where the archway is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of times you're out there waiting to get in line into the building. So I don't know. Maybe
I know. Let's add lightning lane. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Lord. Pay to play.
You got to pay more to get in line to eat. Then we're gonna pay.
Yeah,
And
I
then
don't know.
then they'll raise the menu prices. So
Yeah. Well, it's just gonna make the line longer anyway. So
Maybe extend the building out a little bit in that one corner and by Tiki Room over there, and then have us go in that way and then go into the building or something. I don't know. As long as we don't standing outside all the time, because then what I hate is when you're standing in that line and then people get their food from the opposite side and they go through the line to get to the seats.
Yeah.
They need to fix that.
there's not much space there, really.
There isn't. Yeah.
Right. And it's a great spot to eat and stuff.
Yeah.
There and the other place across, the chicken.
Yeah. It's like even Coke Corner, whatever.
Yeah.
That like kind of gets bottled in there, and people are like running in short of each other, trying to figure out where to sit, and guys out there playing piano, trying to do his best, and everybody's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. One more time.
Last but not least. So we got Disneyland, and Disneyland. Disney.
Disney.
Just for Zach.
Pirates.
Oh, nice.
I don't think we ever got Pirates before.
No, we never got it. What would you do?
What would I do?
Take a drink.
Yeah.
I've answered this one on my show.
I mean, the only thing I can really think of is to improve animatronics so they're better. A lot of them are still basically the same old stuff.
They are.
Especially the ones that just go round and round and they're not really doing anything.
Yeah, they're chasing the food.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much the only thing that's really lacking is just quality animatronics. They've updated the ones that talk, like the auctioneer and stuff, but even him's pretty jaggedy.
Mm-hmm.
You could actually do a lot having like a sword fight or something going on, you know.
There is a sword fight, but it's a shadow.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, so the one thing that I have brought
on your show, what did you say on your show?
The going along the same lines as Jason is bringing some of the tech that they have in Rise and bringing it over. So that'd be expanding the battle scene when they're attacking the fort. improving all that. You can improve the tech with how the cannons move and all that stuff. Make the splash bigger. You could maybe trace cannonballs across the sky. Definitely improving in the animatronics is one of the biggest ones too. Make it a little bit longer, but you can't really do that. But that's always the things like, hey, give me more. There is.
You don't get stuck.
Yep. As long as you don't get stuck, which I mind.
Which that guy did.
Yeah. Then I want to say it's which one? There is one of the ones overseas that actually does have an animatronic sword fight. I don't remember.
That's Shanghai.
Shanghai, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's the latest animatronics. So
yeah, bring it on over. Bring that on over. That'd be great. And instead, actually doing that, and you could actually make that. They wanted to. They could actually make with Jack Sparrow fighting. If you put Jack Sparrow fighting one of the other main antagonists in that series, bingo.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like they added Jack, and he's just like looking around and like popping out.
Come on, he's just tilting his head and
yeah,
like it's dumb. Like you could have done a lot better, but instead they just like, hey Johnny, do you want to go stand on the ride and wave hi to people?
So what's your favorite part of the ride? Since you got pirates.
I mean, for me, it was always when you get to the village on fire and everybody starts singing along, including the dog and the donkey.
Oh yeah,
Even though the fire effects are so cheesy, it looks awesome to me. Like everything is going on and there's just a lot happening.
When I was a kid, I actually thought everything was on fire.
Yeah, me too.
So did the fire department.
Yeah.
No, there's just a lot happening. I love that part. And then you get to the pirates when they're shooting back and forth. That right there can use some upgrades too. But just having them fire back and forth.
At the end, you're talking about the end when they're laying on the
cannon. The hill. So
yeah.
All that whole part there. I mean, obviously, I like all of it, and you can't even really see the sign.
Yeah,
Captain Quarter's sign, which I make. It's just like random stuff. There's like so many different things I would love to make on there.
Yeah,
like stow your weapons kind of sign too.
Oh yeah,
you need to make the lady above the bar.
Isn't that the redhead?
I don't know. Is it
the painting you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that painting above the bar.
I'm not an artist. I don't paint. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, I like that. It's definitely a fun game.
So I guess let's just on that note, what overall, anything you wanted to do, well, how would you improve whatever you wanted to do in Disneyland? What would you do?
Well, with everything going on, I've in my quiet time, I've had a lot of time that my brain travels down that road often. The main initiatives, if I walked in and said, you're now, you're what, CEO or head of parks, whatever. And I said this before, everything is returning to pre-pandemic. Everything, not reservation system gone, lightning, all Jeep, all that, everything. Gone.
Would you keep it before lightning and after Fast Pass, or would you bring back Fast Pass?
Fast Pass. Yep, Fast Pass. Go back. So the other part that I would change is because what you do with that is what Disney has done and Disneyland has done is they have done everything to culture the experience the way that they want you to now. So a lot of the options that are now given to you are basically they try to wiggle you to go to them. Why, reservations and blah, 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 all that, all your data, all your info, they're trying to cater that to you, but really what it is they're trying to maneuver you to a corner. And this is how we want you to enjoy the park, not the one thing, the beauty of the park growing up was that it was like freedom. You enjoyed the experiences as you took them in for whatever you did. And not only each attraction for what it's worth and what it offered, but in everything, the food, how you spent your day there. So now they've tried to push you into these things. So if I want to stand in line for an hour, I'm going to stand in line for an hour. If I want to stand in line for for 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever, I'm going to do it. That's my choice. This is my decision. Same thing was like, if I want to go to the park today, why do I need to make a reservation?
Yeah.
I just go. Well, crowding, it doesn't matter. It's expected. Okay, these are one of the things like it's expected. So that's why I would go back there. The other thing I would correct is the pricing. I know it's incredibly difficult to do that, but that's the other thing I do. I drop everything down. That's exactly what I do. Drive everything right back to there and start from that point. And then start to see, okay, what isn't working now for today? But that is an incredibly good base point. So that's what I would do there. That's the general overview of the park. The other thing that I would do is much more specific to two lanes. Okay, so Main Street USA is impeccable. Should never, ever, ever, ever be touched by anyone for any reason whatsoever.
I agree.
Don't touch it. Secondly, Fantasyland. Maybe one or two attractions, a mod there or two, but overall, again, you don't need to really mess with that. If anything, you add to it. Maybe I'm a big proponent of trying to add a beauty. If you're going to remove something, add like a Beauty and the Beast or something, or add like if you want to add Frozen, you have space over there. We've talked about this at length.
Yeah.
There's places you can do that. So do that.
Right.
Tomorrowland is a complete and over rehaul that needs to happen. It needs its own independent IP. And that's one of the things I say is like, we need to create an IP, not buy one, create one.
Well, I mean, they technically tried to with their movie.
Yeah, but there's nothing there for that. It didn't have any grounding in that. So at least when they did that with Pirates, you think about the rich history of Pirates, there was more to glom onto, you know what I mean? So I would say, I say even go back to the Black Hole, like pull out that bad boy, re-update that thing. And
I kind of like that movie.
I believe they are doing a remake of that.
I've heard that too, but it's got to be good. And I don't have faith in the creators right now in that branch of Disney. I don't. They haven't given me anything that I've been super pumped for. I'm not going to talk about the Ray movie. So and then the last bit of it would be because over there, Adventureland. What they did to kind of relieve that bottleneck and all that stuff is great. Leave it alone. New Orleans Square, what they're doing to the queue for Haunted is great. I like it. I'm not going to get into Splash Mountain because whatever. But Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge is the biggest right now. One of the biggest lost potential in that park right now. And it bugs me a lot because like you were saying earlier, droids need to be out. When they pitched that land, the concept originally, I thought, oh my God, this place could be out of this world. And it's still cool, but it's not near where they wanted to be.
Sorry, just to cut you off a second.
Yeah.
When we saw that with all the aliens and the first thing I was thinking, like, it's never going to happen.
Well,
you got people in makeup and animatronic masks and walking around all day. Like it's not going to happen. And sure enough, it never did.
Yeah. So, but they need to add a restaurant, like a full sit down, like a night.
And it's kind of
it's there. There is a building there for it. It's never open.
Yep. So
across from the cantina and that building there.
No, and that is the one thing that needs to happen. If they did that and made a full thing, like they were talking about, making a whole show thing, like a whole dinner show, that I'd sign me up. I'd go. The other things they need to do is unlock the time lock on the land. It was a stupid idea.
Yeah.
From the word go, because
what's that?
You're trapped in the post moving.
Oh, that's the story part.
Right.
There it is, the story part.
They should do it like by day, or like this day is this, or hour, or whatever, you know.
So my idea was you could do it by day or by hour. If you really want to do this, because I don't know how many people you heard was like, where's Luke, where's Han?
Right.
Yep.
Where's Darth?
Where's Darth Vader? Come
Darth?
on. I don't want to see Kylo Ren every day.
Yeah, no. And I know why Kathleen Kennedy pushed them to do that, and it didn't work. Okay, they were able to give up the whole Galactic Hotel thing, okay, in Florida. They need to recognize that they need to give up this idea of time locking it. Then they also need to go back and Smuggler's Run, we're talking about it. They need to change the stories up. They could, and that would not be difficult. You take Hondo out, and who do you put in there? Han.
Yeah.
You have him do all the voice work and all that stuff. Done. That's all you need to do. That's really all you need to do. And then with Rise, it should be you in there attacking the Death Star while Luke is making the trench run, and you need to get out of there before it blows up. If they did that,
that would be cool.
Forget about it.
What would be even cooler if they made our little car that we were in, the little transport, with Buzz Lightyear guns, and you start shooting it.
Yeah,
little lightsabers. Yeah. No, but that those are all the things I'd push for right away. Like, these are the things we need to handle. Like, start getting my plans done. Let's get the timelines going. Let's figure this out.
A lot of that could be done fairly easily without much money.
Yeah. Those are the things that I think would go a long way to correct a lot of the unfortunate bad blood that a lot of people are having towards Disney right now.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to entertainment, because that entertainment is a whole.
Yeah. That needs a whole overhaul.
Yeah.
Those are all great ideas.
Thank you. Yeah. Like I said, I have my mind, as I'm sitting there quite quietly, my mind starts going, hey, what would you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark and I are weird like that. We talk about that.
That's like Jason and I. We talk about Tomorrowland. We talk about Galaxy's Edge, how there's so much dead space in that land. That land, you have New Orleans Square, that's, I forgot how many acres that is. You have 2 large rides or attractions, and you have the streets and everything that's happening there. And then you get Galaxy's Edge, that's like 14 acres, or however big it is.
14.
You have 2 attractions and a little bit of shopping. And it's like,
it's it's such a waste of. It's not a waste of space. It's just a mismanaged space.
Underutilized.
Yeah. Because there's so much potential in that land.
Oh my.
Yeah.
It's also weird that instead of making underground ride like Pirates, and you could have done stuff on top of it, they decided to put Rise in a 2-story building.
Right.
You could have done it. You could have went down and then went back up, and then
and the other thing too with Galaxy's Edge is when we saw the map, or whatever you want to call that, the land, and then in what's that called, Launch Bay, they had the model and everything, and you saw bridges that go across, and like, oh, we get to go on top, and it's 2-story. We get to go across and take a look down, and everybody and stuff. No, you don't get that. That would have been so cool to have.
The characters barely even use those. Like, because they put the stormtroopers up there looking at you.
Let us go up there and explore and stuff.
I think the number one reason is the perspective thing. They everything's built on that. So,
still, me.
Yeah, I agree. We say that about Tomorrowland too. They're the 2nd-story thing.
Yeah. We always want another floor, like, because when you're on Space Mountain, in the line for Space Mountain, you look out towards the People Mover loading area and stuff.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Like, you can see everything, you know, up high.
So I had this. I think I thought I was before, but you have Disneyland, you have Disney Sea. I want a Disney Air, where rides would go up on top of each other, and you can see down into it, and you can walk
Cloud
on top
City.
of them and that kind of stuff.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It would be hell to like if you want to remove something, but I'm sure there's ways of doing it, you know. But it would be pretty cool to have stuff interacting on top of each other and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm picturing that. That'd be cool.
Udi's mind is getting going again.
We all just need to get to be Imagineers so we can make stuff, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've often said I'd never be allowed in any Imagineer boardroom.
I mean, honestly, like all of these things came from ideas like we have. It's just a matter of putting them in front of the right person. And be like, let's see what we do with that.
I told you about my sphere thing, right, Udi?
Right.
You know, inside of the
like the sphere at Vegas.
Yeah, you know, the sphere, but put that like in Space Mountain, for instance. You know, the space and stuff.
Like not on the outside, but on the inside.
On the inside,
projections. You have the whole thing just moving around you.
Yeah, or inside the carousel, where Innovations was and stuff.
Yeah.
Make it a new type of Circle Vision 360. So now you're inside there, and it's just all around you.
That would be cool. Huh? That would be cool.
Yeah, you don't have
a
to
million things you can do. You can change it all every hour if you want on the outside.
Yeah.
Different holiday shows, overlays, whatever you wanted. So, yeah.
There is the technology to do it. I mean, they're doing it in Sphere, but they do it when they're doing the Mando. I mean, you think about what they do.
Right.
Oh, right. Yeah, they use those screens and stuff. They're using the Unreal Engine to do all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I got one last question for you.
All right, go.
What's your favorite podcast?
Mine.
No. Wrong. That is the wrong answer. What is your second favorite podcast?
No, I know.
I know you're like on like 5 different podcasts or something.
Oh, one I do, or just in general?
No, I know. I'm just joking. Don't worry about it.
Honestly, I listened to a couple other ones that are kind of outside the vein. But honestly, a lot of the stuff I listen to is going to be more how to put it, socio-political, outside of Disney. I watch a lot of YouTube channels that pertains to Disney, more than podcasts. Podcast wise, who was that? I do listen a bit to Rogan, like a lot of people. I also listen off and on to another one that my brother put me on to. It's called Time Suck. So those are the podcasts I would listen to kind of outside of Disney. Yeah. And then, honestly, with Disney podcasts, I don't listen to a lot of them. I'd rather watch channels than listen to podcasts and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I do, like I said, I do watch other ones. I watch you guys when I'm on. No, I'm kidding. No, but I do watch. And then who else do I watch? And then other shows I'll watch Disney related would be like Valiant Renegade. I'm sure you guys may be familiar with Valiant Renegade, WW Pro. Who else do I listen to or watch? There's one other one, and I can't think of it. I don't watch it that often because I often disagree with him, but it's always Mark always sort of like, hey, this guy, and I'm like,
is it Fresh Baked?
No, I do not watch Fresh Baked. And this is where I am, because I will tell you the story. I was with Joe. We're in Galaxy's Edge, and we're chilling. We're just chilling right outside of the workshop, and we're doing something. And then, as we're sitting there, a guy comes up and he goes, "Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, because I was trying to get a hold of somebody. Joe was on the phone, and I go, what's up?" And he's like, "Hey, just want to say I love your show. Joe, I love your show. You guys do great work. Keep up the good work." And I was like, "Oh, thank you, man." And then he takes off. And I'm like, whoa. And I go, I'm like, "Come back. What's up? Like, let's talk." And we wound up taking pictures, and we wound up like hanging out with him for a little while.
Yeah.
And that's why I will always treat anybody who comes up to me and is a listener of my show. You invest your time in listening to me blather on for hours and hours at a time. The least I'm going to be able to do is say, "Hey, thank you. Let's talk. Let's go ride something.
Right.
Let's take a picture. Let's do something, because this is cool. This is why we do what we do. This is the community build." Yeah. And for anyone who will sit there and have that kind of a snub attitude towards a supporter is never okay with me in any field. So, and I don't know how many listeners we've met and hung out with, because we're like actively like, okay, so I'm gonna tell you this, and once we get done, you guys are gonna get the invite, even though it's gonna be very difficult for you guys to come up. When we do our 200th, we're planning on doing we want to do an Eat Like Walt thing. We're going to try to get Marcy to come up and hang out, and we're all going to bake food, and we're going to get as many of our listeners to come up and come hang out with us.
Oh, that's cool.
At Marcy. Yeah. So that's what we want to do. And this is the thing is, when you build a community like we are, we're all part of the community.
Yeah, because we're kind of like the whole Disney family a little bit.
Yeah. And that's what we call our listeners the fam. We call it the fam. And so it's important to maintain those kind of things, and it's important to build those things. It's important to hold on to the people that have this camaraderie with you. So this is, I mean, that's the cool things about Disneyland.
Yeah, it's like we're not competing against each other. We're all doing the same thing. Yeah,
exactly.
I thought it was really nice that Adam. So I met Adam the Woo a couple times, and I thought it was really cool of him to actually take the time and talk with us. Yeah. We're like, "Hey, Adam, and he doesn't know who I am, but
Mark met him and took a picture with him and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, see, he was nice enough to take time and talk to us, and and then because it was during the electrical parade, so we're getting ready to start and everything, and he's like, "Okay, well, it was good talking with you guys." Yeah, it was nice talking. Thanks for at least saying hi and stuff. So
that's why I will never ever be that way ever.
Yeah.
Because
I've had the opportunity to meet lots of different YouTubers, Disney vloggers, woodworkers, whatever. There are just some that don't give a crap.
No, I know.
We are a higher level than you, and you don't care, or you don't matter, whatever.
Yeah.
And you're not worth my time.
Yeah.
Literally. There's one famous female woodworker out there.
I know you're talking
talk to you unless you can somehow help her out in some situation. So if you have no subscribers, she doesn't give a crap.
Yeah, no. See, that's the thing is the beauty of this park is a community built.
Yeah, but I understand some people have a thing with meeting people.
Yeah, and in all honesty, Dave is like that. He's actually very shy. Justin's the same way, actually. They put on this persona when they're on camera, but off camera they're very personal.
Well,
they don't keep to themselves,
There's still a way to, you might be a private person, which I understand.
Yeah.
But at least
we've seen it before.
You have respect for your viewers.
We've seen it a lot of times in Dave's videos, and I'm not putting him down anyway, but he will just be like, "Hey," or and that's it. He just waves you off or whatever, and he will not turn off the camera and be like, "Hey, let's hang out or let's talk for a second or whatever." Very few and far between. and I don't want to put Provost on the spot again, but there's a lot of times where you'll see Provost cut and come back on, and he doesn't say anything. But
He's saying hi to everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is the other part of it that the way I look at it is that's why when I'm talking, I'm not putting up a persona. I'm not. That way I never have any of these kind of weird.
No, you're real.
Real. I don't have any hangups with that kind of stuff. It's like if you have problem meeting people, then putting yourself out in front of people is kind of like your fault. So I mean, I get it that people have those issues, but if you're putting yourself out there, you're going to have to be able to take the good and the bad. And this is the one thing. Yeah. This is the one thing that I'm really happy that we do. And this goes back to the inception of the show was when we were conceptualizing, what do we want to do? Okay, let's start a podcast. Easily said, but what are we going to do? Deciding format, deciding how we're going to be, all this kind of stuff. And I remember thinking to myself, you know what, dude, we have to be, there's two things we got to do. One thing, we have to be consistent. And the second thing we got to do is be ourselves. I said, after that, anything else will fall into however it kind of works its way out. And that's what we've done. So that's why we were worried about time at some point. Like, man, are we too long format? Do we, and Mark was kind of, we were talking about that. And I remember thinking, you know what? Who cares? Who cares?
Right. Yeah, that's Jason. It's like the time there is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And if you're worried about time, then it's going to affect your video. You just do what you do, and you get to the end, like we were doing right now. Like, if I was worried about time, I would have.
It would have been
not had the right questions.
a half hour ago.
Yeah,
or an hour ago.
Like I'm just thinking of stuff, and I'm like, I want to ask this. Oh, I can't do that because we're going to run out of time. No.
Yeah. No, and I think, and this is why I think we've gotten that compliment often about, hey, these I've met them, these are listeners that, hey, I've met them in person, and the person you're hearing on that podcast is this person I just met. There's no kind of like, facade. It's legit the same person.
Yeah.
So Mark is started coining this new phrase that I really like. It is, he goes, consider us your Disney best friends that you just haven't met yet.
Yeah, I heard him say that.
And so when I hear that, it's like that's kind of the core point of all this, right? So that's why I get a little dismayed when I see people do that. I get very dismayed because I'm like, you're kind of being against what we're all kind of here for.
Right.
So being yourself, being humble, and just doing what you're going to do, and you take the hits as we come. We've had some negative things happen. We've had some negative feedback. We've had that before.
Yeah, everybody's going to get that.
Huh?
Not everybody's going to like you, so.
Yeah, and we've got them, and if I wish I could find that. I actually put the challenge out to the person who was very he was hyperbolic, not really critical, just talking trash. And I went and I issued the invite. They haven't picked up on it yet, but I'm like, come on, let's have this talk. And that's what I'm saying, because it's a real conversation, and the more real we are, the people who want that are going to migrate to it. So, I mean, every time, length doesn't matter. Whatever topic is going to be obviously important, but how we talk about what we talk about has to come from the heart and not not fake. Yeah. I don't have a message to get a convey. I just am talking.
Right.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
you guys are doing that. So
fortunately, there's just people out there like that comment I was sharing you about the guy who posted on my recipe thing. There's always going to be someone who will shit on you. I mean,
the one that has no subscribers.
Yeah, they want to shit on you because that's all they have. They don't. They don't have their own channel, or they don't want to do their own channel. So all they can do is put you down,
critique everybody's stuff, but they're the best person,
right?
So.
But I love it. I love it. Love it. I love it.
Yeah,
it's good though. It's fine. And it's all good though. Like I said, I'm good with what I say. I never, if I've ever had to apologize or retract anything, I don't think I've ever had to, because I literally don't say anything I don't mean. So it makes my life a lot easier.
We're exactly the same way. Yeah. There were some stuff that we cut.
But other than that, no. I mean, there's no reason to. You know what I mean? You speak what you say. The only thing we take out mostly is just cuss words. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do that once in a while too. But there are certain times when, you know, especially for Jeff, who does voiceover work.
Right.
Sometimes we'll say something that you know, might be negative against Disney or something, and that has to be cut out.
It might harm his.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I get that from his point of view. You know, it's like, you know, you don't.
It's not just him, but we say this all the time. We want Disney to succeed.
Absolutely.
We're not trying to be negative, so sometimes our conversations might get a little carried away, and we don't want anybody getting the wrong idea. So
it's, what do they call that? Positive criticism or something like that?
Well, no, and this is the one thing that we talk about all the time, is like, we're not going to end being critical, because we're being critical. Somehow some people begin to think that if you're being critical, you hate the thing. Like, actually, if we're giving constructive criticism, it's because
constructive criticism.
Right.
I couldn't think of the word.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's good, and we will leave that stuff in.
Yeah.
But sometimes somebody will say something or whatever, and I've done it before. But it's just like, oh, that, you know what, we probably shouldn't have said that. It's going too negative, so I'm gonna cut that out.
Yeah.
Well, we had that whole podcast, or the whole, was it Concilium or something we had, but just saying positive things.
Right. I mean, and that's the whole point of that show, is to be, like you're saying, to be criticism of whatever we're doing. Not even just criticism, is it whatever the topic is.
Right.
Talk however you want. But let's turn it to a positive spin around too.
Yeah, always.
Like, you could say what's wrong, but how do you fix it? Like, that's what Jeff brought to us.
Jeff really hits on that all the time, because we always say stuff about, you know, this is bad, and then Jeff always has to say, okay, so what would you do to make it better?
Right.
And you end on that, something to make it better.
Which is funny, because in a way, him saying that actually makes us better. Yeah. Because it brings us back to that point, you know?
Well, I had a similar thing with one of the guys who is basically one of our he's unofficial food contributor and editor, like in chief. Like, this guy, his name is Jay Bratton. I think you guys may have heard him before.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, Jay Bratton, and the dude is amazing. And we had a conversation.
Is he a fat Jay? Sorry.
No,
I'm on the show.
Honestly, though, he would be good on the show with you. The dude's awesome. I you know what? Thanks for putting that in my head. That might work. No, he's but he's a 100% food guy, a big time foodie guy. But he's a big Disney guy, and he's been critical. But he did bring up something too, and this is where we're having a conversation, was because he listens to every one of our shows. And he felt like we were being, mainly me though, to be fair. It was mainly directed at me, and I didn't take it as like him attacking me at all. It was like he felt like I was getting negative, like a lot of the negativity was coming out. And he even said, and the thing, to his credit, he said it on the show too. And he goes, you know, we there's good things we got to think about, and I get the negativity, but and so he made me really, like, he forced me to think about that.
Yeah.
And the very next episode, I made the change of like, okay, if I'm going to be hypercritical and it comes off negative, I need to make sure to remind everybody and remind myself that we're doing it for the positive outcome. Right. We're doing it because we want improvement. We want Disney to succeed. We want Disneyland to be even better than it ever has been. And how do you do that? You know, we have a difficult conversation, but you have to have them. But you have to do them, you know, critically, compassionately to an extent. I mean, there are times where I get mad and I just go rant, but I always try to bring it back around to, well, these are the things that need to be done, and these can be corrected. And if they're corrected, think about how great that would be and how positive it could be. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally get that. And it's true. It's true. We have to maintain that. It's about hope. I mean, we always go back to Star Wars like it's about hope. So I try to keep that in my mind whenever I come down, like right now with Star Wars and what's going on with the Raid movie. Like, my mind is like, boom. I mean, if you want to talk about that afterward.
Yeah. I'm just hoping for Disneyland Forward.
That's it, yeah. And so that's why you come back to what we've got building that positive could be. And that Disney Forward right now is one of the things that I'm really hoping about. Because, man, you think about what they could do. And the potential.
It would be amazing if that actually comes through and they start on that. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
They do that.
It will be.
It's just that we'll know that ticket prices will.
But that happens every year anyway. So
I know. But see, but then at that point, then you're like, fine, raise it up because we know we're getting more.
Yeah.
It's a value added. It's a value.
I'm hoping that if they do that while that's being built, or if that's finished being built or whatever, then they can do Tomorrowland, or do Tomorrowland first and then Disneyland Forward or Disney Forward.
Yeah.
Hopefully one of those gets done. It's the hope again.
Back to hope. Always back to hope.
A new hope.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think on that note, we shall call this episode.
Cool.
It was great having you on.
Yeah.
It was a great interview with you. So
thank you. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it.
Is there something you want to promote? Your podcast, or you want to?
We have my podcast, the Living Day Podcast, where you can find that on any platform, almost any platform. Then I have my other show that we're kind of hold on because we don't have much to talk about right now, is the Mando Show, and we're kind of like. Cool. Yeah, and that's all Mandalorian based. Star Wars based. So that's kind of like we finished off with Ahsoka, and we're like, okay, well, what now?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. We
didn't get into that.
well, I mean, we kind of got other podcasts, but
yeah,
if there is no more Mando Show, do you change your name or?
No, because I think the branding that we put behind it is enough that being a Mando is not something that's going to be exclusive to that show. And we haven't, because if we stuck to that show, we would have been dead in the water for a while, off and on. So, no, we'll keep it the same. We have pretty cool little logo. Got drawn up. I should send you a couple stickers. I have a stack of them right here. So no, we'll keep that going. It's just a matter of like.
I got stickers for you.
Oh, cool. Oh, okay. Hold on, wait. Now we're talking. Hold on. Let's see if you can see it.
Oh yeah, cool.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so each one of those Mandalorian helmets is one of us on the show.
Neat. Which one are you?
This one.
The blue one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Nice.
Yep. That's my brother right there. That's gonna be
here. This is my sticker right here. It's like the. I don't have any stickers.
Yeah.
The Mando Show is out there. We have plenty of episodes out there covering anything Star Wars related from that.
2 Fat Jays.
I like it.
I'll send you some of these too.
Okay, yeah, go for it. And then that's pretty much it. You can find me on Instagram and Twixter, HAXGOALIE, Haxgolic, and his name. Mostly on Instagram, though.
Cool. And I'll put everything down below.
Yeah, in the description.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Again, thanks for coming on, especially short notice.
Yeah, it was real short.
Yep. Good thing you called me today, because tomorrow I would have been like, sorry, guys.
Yeah. Well, this will hopefully go up tomorrow. Gotta edit everything tonight, but
good times.
You're welcome anytime, and
Thank
hopefully
you,
we'll get you on.
We're gonna have to get you on, both you guys with us over here with Mark and Jess. We're gonna have to get you. We can work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I say hopefully we'll get you on the next Casillium thing too, because we were hopefully trying to get to the thing that we kind of hit on here, which was like amusement park ride attraction theming stories, that kind of thing. I think is what we're talking about doing. So
we'll have to get Kenny back on too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm way down for that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you are listening to the podcast, be sure to like the show on whatever system or platform, I guess is the right word, you're listening to. And send us a message. Check the link down below, and you can send us a voicemail, and maybe we'll play it on the next show. And that's it. We'll see you next one.
End of line.